I'm back again, guys. This one is about Samson, and I believe that the whole world completely missed what got Samson killed. A lot of people, the whole world believed it was lust, but if you believe that Samson got what he deserved because of lust, you completely missed the whole psychological teaching of what Samson and his story represent. It wasn't because of lust. If you read Samson, the story in Judges, if this makes sense, there's a story about a guy who in the Bible who kept who his neighbor, he needed some bread or something, so he went to his neighbor's house and kept beating on the door and was like, yo, I need some bread because my youth is hungry. But his neighbor's like, nah, I can't do that because my kid is sleeping. So his neighbor closed the door on him. So he went back and beat down the door and was like, yo, my kid is sleeping. Nah. So he kept doing it. And he's like, oh, I got to give you the bread now because my son is sleeping. And if I don't give you the bread, you're going to keep beating down the door until you wake up my son. So basically, Neville uses this as called brazen impudence, in which you will not take no for an answer. But I find it pretty ironic how in Samson, this is done on the flip side, where the woman, the prostitute, which Samson was dealing with at the time, he didn't love the prostitute. He didn't. He knew exactly what she was. He used her for exactly what she was. The story was not about lust. The story was about the brazen impudence of the enemy. And this is what happens in our day-to-day life. And Samson, if you read the point of which he gave up his secret, it says the girl tried 3 times. And she came to him like, yo, what's the secret to your to your strength? And Samson kept feeding her lies. Okay? But what got to Samson was that she never gave up. That woman kept coming and coming and coming. She had brazen impudence in which she was not going to stop until he gave up that secret. And he fell victim to brazen impudence. As you can see in the text, in the story, he was vexed. His soul was vexed to death. This woman would not stop until she got that secret. You understand? So that's the story of Samson. And just like how you can get what you want by brazen impudence, so can the enemy. And the thing is, the enemy sometimes will use this in life. They will keep showing you signs that you're fooling yourself. What you want is not coming into being, and it would use your impatience. It would use that as brazen impudence. It will show you, hey, look, no matter how hard you try, what you're doing is not going to come to fulfilling. It will use your impatience as a form of brazen impudence to show you that what you're doing is just not making sense, and just to make you give up. So this happens in life all the time, where the enemy uses brazen impudence to show you that, like, yo, no matter how hard you try, it's not going to come. Not knowing that, hey, if you have persistence, it would eventually have to give way. And this is a tool in the enemy's line of working, brazen impudence. Just like how it works for you to get you what you want, it could also work for you to not get you what you want if used by the enemy. And this is what the story of Samson entails. It's not about a man for sexual seduction. Please, it has nothing to do with that. And if you read it as such, you're gonna miss the complete psychological implication of what Samson is about. So read it again and try to understand what it's trying to say. And you have to extract the psychological meaning. It's not talking about sex. It's not talking about lust after woman. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about the enemy, which is the Philistines, using Delilah to find out his secret. And Delilah is a woman of brazen impudence. She's not going to stop until she get what she want. And it happened. It worked.